Hello? I should be live now. Yeah. Okay, I can see it. I'm gonna go grab the link and then I'll start. One moment. Oh, I can see. I can finally see the part where they removed the dislike button. I didn't. People were talking about it, but I couldn't see that they removed it until just now. Like for the last few days, I've been able to see it, so I don't know what's been going on there. Yeah. Hello, everyone. So yeah, today, first thing I want to do, is fix this background color because it clashes too much with the background tiles right here. So I'm just going to take like a screenshot right here. And then I'll test it out with some different colors. One moment. Just cropping it out because it's unprofessional to show OBS and YouTube analytics from my screenshots. Anyways, so I think this color is this pure black, almost, but wait, I wonder, is the shadow pure black? Almost. So I think that color is fine. I think it's the brighter color here that needs to be changed. So I think it's too purple, maybe. Or maybe it's not purple enough. I don't know. Let's try making it like this color, maybe. How's this look? I don't think I like that color. There's too much contrast on the background, which would make it distracting. So since contrast is a concern, then it needs to be dark blue. Alright. This is almost a gray actually, but I'm gonna pull up the original to compare. So I think I do like this one more. So I think I just have to take this color and then go into my settings up here. Window configuration. Yeah. So this becomes 28, 30, 45. I think this does it. I'm not certain about that. What about GitHub? I do use GitHub for this project, although it's a private repository. I want to make this background stuff a little bit brighter because I can't make the actual background pattern much darker. So time to start messing around with colors. Yeah, I do have a GitHub, although I don't post much on it. Most of the source code from my projects is on itch.io. Okay, so actually I have colors in my palette for this. I wonder how this fits. Let's try it. Actually, what I want to do, select, and then I can go over here, grab that color. I might tweak that the background color later. For the time being, I believe these are in the blues. So, is this the brighter one? Yeah, it's the brighter one. So, that almost what happens if I take like this color? Wait, isn't that the color I used? No, it's not. Ooh, I like that. And then what happens if I take the color that's one brighter and use it for this stuff? I don't know how I feel about that one, but what I could try is maybe this color. That could work. I think there might be one shade in between that I'm not using, which would be this one, I think. Maybe that is the shade. Ooh. Yeah, that's the shade. So, wait, how does this color mix? That's what I used. Man, that shade jumps a lot. So let's try the purple, and then the... Wait. That's what I used before, right? I don't feel like the purple stands out enough. And then if I do... What if I do this color? That's just visually confusing. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna see what happens if I add a shade between these two. So take this, make it darker. Take it shifting towards kind of red. Just a tiny bit. Is that halfway between? I don't think so. Maybe? I think I shifted too far to red. Oh wait. Wrong color. This one was the one. This needs to become 45. That might be right. It's not saturated enough though. 105. Doesn't need to be super saturated because it's a background color, but hold on. There we go. That one will work. Yeah, that color works. Question is, do I use the light or the dark color now? Do I have... I'm curious what happens if I use this color as the rock color. That's too dark. Let's try this one. Wait. That one looks pretty good. Although it mixes too much. Man. If it weren't for the color of this background, I could get away with some pretty good looking stuff, but it's art, I guess. So it's time to take these new colors, I guess, and test them out. So I take those two, I go over to images, sprite sheets, core tiles back, take that, I do that, take back other core, do that, color those, you just gotta get through all of these tiles and then do the same for this. I'm clicking all those circles, it's like I'm playing Osu. Not that I've ever played Osu. Okay, those are the updated tiles. Let's close everything and see how it looks. I like it. You can clearly tell that it's distinct from the background now. Used to blend in a bit, but you can. It's also distinct from the foreground, so like you probably wouldn't mistake it as something you could stand on. Yeah, hopefully it's distinct from the foreground. Because that could be pretty confusing either way. Well, if that were the case. I like how the boxes can just be knocked around. Okay, so that was the first thing on my to-do list, was changing the background color, making this stuff fit a bit better. And then the second thing, I believe, which, well, the first thing wasn't even written on my to-do list. The second thing is this. Add force field to projectiles, entities, and combat impacts that affects the foreground particles. So this is going to be an interesting aesthetic thing. And it's going to be an interesting problem to solve, because you can't just have every impact effect go through every single particle and try to affect them all. Yeah. How am I doing on this fine day? I'm doing good. I'm kind of busy though, because on top of the stream I have a bunch of other stuff I have to do today. Yeah. Did I make a color palette? Yes and no. So I took a color palette and then I modified it. Do I find Paint annoying with its lack of some important Pixar features? So it doesn't really lack much, because, well, it depends on how you're looking at it. The biggest thing for me is just the brush shape, for the larger brushes. That really gets on my nerves a bit, but other than that, it's decent. And, well, that and animation, which is why I sometimes use Sprite. So I use Sprite when I'm animating or when I'm dealing with larger images like backgrounds. But in this game, there's not really any backgrounds because it's just that pattern. That whole, like, it's funny, I designed the world of this game around the fact that I didn't want to have to draw a bunch of backgrounds. I haven't told anyone what exactly this game is about. Like, the mechanics I've explained. It's just mainly combat, action RPG type thing. Okay, so I'm gonna start trying to solve this problem. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here when I want there to be impact effects. So you see all these particles that are floating around in front of me? I want it to be like if I shoot a wall, or if I run around or shoot an enemy, I want the particles to move. Like the overlay particles to move dependent on that. So there's a couple ways to do this. One of them, well, there's a couple ways that come to my mind that are both derived from the same idea. So I could use a dictionary to like break up the display into a bunch of chunks, and then I could either have every particle look up the forces that are nearby in that dictionary, or I could do the inverse and have every force look up the particles that are nearby. I think that since the particles have more of a fixed size, it would probably be better to have the particles be the things that are broken into the chunks. And here comes that thing. I didn't mean to do that. But, yeah, so what I'm going to have to do here is every time I update the particles, I'm going to have to create a map of the particles. And the particles, I believe... Oh, it uses a default particle system, I think, which comes from... I don't know where I put it. There's those particles. Particles.py. This thing has like, this is where all the logic is for the particles, but where is it? So somewhere in here, I think. Render square. Oh, and no, it's not in background. It's technically foreground, so it's going to be under renderer. So in here, where is it? Overlay particles. But the overlay particles are here. So I'm actually going to okay, I think I've got this particle manager. So I'm going to go into here and add a option to keep track of, like, keep a map of where all the particles are for quick access. So self.map particles equals false. So in the renderer, I'm going to want to turn that on. So self.overlay particles dot map particles equals true. So now I can do self.particle map, just same word, just backwards, pretty much. And then I'll fill this out on the update. So first of all, I'm gonna do a baseline of the performance to make sure I don't mess things up with creating this map. So it's 122-ish. So in the in particles under update, I'm going to want to update the map. Actually, I'm going to make this none instead of false, and then I'll switch it to like an integer, which is the size of the chunks. And the size, oh boy, I guess 16 by 16 is fine. And then, so I have to break it up into 16 by 16 chunks. So now I go over into update, and in update I'm going to want to update particle map if requested. If self dot map particles, then I gotta have to update the particle map. Self dot update particle. Actually, no, I should hack it into the Is this particle or is this? Oh, this is particle. So no, I'm not gonna want to do it in here. I'm gonna want to do it in the other update. So in here, I'll do if actually I'll not make a function for that. I was going to make another external function, well, not external, a class function for updating it, but since I'm gonna do it a bunch of times, I'm going to, for each individual particle, I'm going to just write the code in here. Self.map particles. Wait, oh, particle map equals that. You want to empty it every frame, and then position equals, it's going to be a tuple of particle dot position 0 particle dot position 1, and then I have to split it up by the size as given. So it's self dot map particles. That should give me an integer. Actually, no, I think sometimes that double slash might return a float, even though it's guaranteed to be like it won't have anything after the floating point, but I think it sometimes returns a float. I don't remember. So I just throw it in as an int to be safe. But you can't just make it an int and do a normal division because of the way it truncates. Integer, like forcing int like that, truncates a different way than this thing does, and it messes stuff up in the negatives, so you have to be careful about that. Anyways, so self.particle map position, no, if position not in self.particle map self.particle map position equals an array, self.particle map position dot append, and then give it particle. So now, for the fun of it, hold on. I'm gonna take a look at the mapping here. Wait, no. Particle map. So I've got my mapping. It's hard to read. It's just a bunch of tuple values of locations of each of the particles. Wait, I forgot if the... How does the offset work for the renderer? Render... Wait, it has like its own function here. So it generates this weird offset value. So it's going to be tricky to convert real world locations into this offset value. But once that's done, oh wait, so I have to find the top left essentially, and then convert it linearly. I seem to remember that like some of the particles will scroll at different rates or something. Hold on, I'm gonna double check that, because if they do, that might be a pain for me. I don't remember what I did. They seem to be the same, which is good. Oh, internal offset. That's the tricky part. So it cares about the internal offset. Yeah, so the issue here is that the way these particles are stored and stuff is very disassociated from the locations in the real world, and I'm going to have to do a ton of conversions to get the right locations. Oh wait, no, this is not a scrolling thing. This is just the going back and forth thing on the sine wave. And that's the glow, so never mind, that's not going to be as bad as I thought. But I do have to be careful about this. They do parallax faster than the game world. That's just the offset though. So yeah, the next part's going to be just trying to convert the locations into particle space. So if I have a world location, I'm going to have to, I believe, subtract the offset. Well, the true offset of the camera position. This one's adding it. So I see subtract the offset, and then can I just subtract it? Wait, I'm not doing that right. Do I have to subtract it divided by 1.3? That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Can I like change the particle color to like test this? Color equals, so I can change the color. So let's do a little bit of a test here. So self.game.world.entities.player. So this will reference the player. Let's take the center. And then I'm going to do a little test with the offset here. So I'm just going to make a temporary variable, position equals that. Position equals position 0 divided by 16, position 1 divided by 16. Oh wait, no, I have to do that after I translate the location. So I'm gonna need quite a few parentheses here. So right here, I'm going to have to subtract the offset. I can just subtract that offset, right? Wait, no. I have to subtract... Hold on. It's either that or I subtract the camera position divided by 1.3. And I don't feel like thinking too hard about that right now. So I'm just gonna try both and see which one it is. If position in self.overlay particles dot particle map print a. So I'm not getting anything right now, and I should be. So is it minus this divided by 1.3? Okay, that wasn't it either. What kind of positions am I getting? So these Okay, I don't think that's right. I'm curious what the particle space looks like and how that translates to the real world position. So let's go ahead and just print the game.world dot, wait, no, self dot overlay particles dot particle map dot key. I'll do a list on it. Just get a list of the keys. I want to see if it stays with constant value or if it like shifts with the camera. So you can't see the numbers I'm looking at, but the console's outputting a ton of numbers. It's like I'm gonna sort by the left value. So sorted key equals lambda x 0. So I'm sorting by the left value. So it is relative to world space, it seems, but it's just scaled world space. So offset equals the camera position. So they're in world space, but do I have to do this plus 0.3? This might be it. I think it's in, wait. So it's in the world space. It just scrolls faster, which means that the space for the particles is theoretically denser. So I think that's right. I don't know. Once again, I just don't feel like thinking too hard today, so. Wait, do I have to? Let's do this. I'm curious, because these numbers seem to be getting pretty close. Oh wait. The Y one is like not right. Can I like just print one of these, or let's see how the X one compares here. So it looks like it should be valid. I'm curious if the player position becomes less if I keep going. It never does, which is a good sign. I'm curious what happened with the whole vertical thing, though. I want to see what the max vertical position is. So the max vertical position right now is like 19. So that's kind of where the problem's coming from. Oh, that'll do it. There we go, I'm getting collisions. So to test this, this will return the particle. So if I do position dot color equals, let's make this some color I'll easily spot. So let's see green. And then when I hit a particle, it should turn green. No. Alright, right, because that's a list of particles. So for P in that, P equals, no, P dot color equals that. So when I hit a particle, it turns green. I've correctly translated the particle stuff. Cool. But it turns green permanently because they're looping around right now, so all of them are slowly turning green. Anyways, so I know that I've got the position translation working now. Yay. So the next part is going to be to add the forces, I guess, and then yeah, those forces will determine which tiles they affect. I might shortcut the logic on that a bit to save some performance, because here I'll draw what I'm thinking of right here. So you get a grid. Let's say you get, where's my, say you have a bunch of boxes. Let's make this like reasonably sized. Hold on, it's gonna take a moment to clone these to get the thing I'm looking for. Hey, listen to that truck in the background. Oh, why is there a fire truck? What? Okay. Anyways, so I'm gonna clone this one more and then I'll explain what I'm talking about here. Alright, so you get this grid of tiles. Well, these aren't tiles, these are chunk locations. So I have particles. I'll mark them so like I got particles all over the place. It can be anywhere, but their center can only be in one location. You get particles everywhere. And let's say you want a force. The force can also be in any location. It doesn't have to be centered on any particular tile. So let's say we put it right here. So I might shortcut the logic and say, instead of having like a radius of any amount, I can have a radius of a certain amount of tiles. And the force will only apply to tiles within that radius from a center that is determined by wherever the center of the circle is. So even if the center is right here, and normally the radius would go out to like all these directions and stuff. For calculating the radius, it'll be in the center of the tile and calculate from there and go out like this. And it'll affect all of the particles in that range instead of that first circle. So that'll be faster because I don't have to well, I can impact more tiles more quickly, because if you look at the width here, I believe this could technically stretch just barely across, what would it be, 4 tiles? Yeah. Whereas I could say a radius of 1 where it would only... Okay, so theoretically you could end up needing to look up all of these tiles just to look up this circle. So with the other method where I center it here, the maximum would be just these 4. So it reduces the amount of tiles you look at. And what I'm going to do is when I apply the force with, say, this circle based on this, I'm going to still use this as a center for the force. So something that's, let's say, right here would be forced this way as opposed to this way. So even though the center for checking what's in range is down here, the center for applying force is going to be right here, so it's going to get pushed this way. Anyways, so it's going to have some weird selection in what gets hit by the force, but it's going to be faster to process, which I have to be very careful with the algorithms I use for the visual effects in this game, because I'm already writing the line on performance. Anyways, that was an explanation that took some time. I'm gonna read chat real quick and then I'll actually go into implementing what I'm talking about. Someone asked me about multiplayer. At this rate, you will finish this game in a month. No, that's not happening. Oh wait, is the reason why all these chat messages end up so long and I can't, like I have a hard time reading a chat unlike other streamers because the messages in my chat are always so long as opposed to just random passive comments that are like 2 or 3 words. I'm wondering now, is that happening because I have it on slow mode? But I don't know. I could try turning slow mode off. I can't change that here. I don't think. I might change that in another stream and see what happens. Maybe it'll make chat a little bit easier to read, but then I don't know. But yeah, I'm not gonna finish this game by the end of the month. There's so much more to do because it's an action RPG. So it's an RPG. It's gonna be a decent sized world, lots of characters, lots of bosses, lots of enemies. I haven't even begun to do the artwork really. Although for me the hardest part is just kind of determining the style. Once the style is decided, things get easier and it's easier to make new assets. Oh, I just ate a bunch of food and I'm fighting the urge to burp. Anyways, just going through the chat real quick. People talking about paying someone $5 to help with an interview. That's questionable. Fun fact, I've never been in a formal interview, like a programming interview, or even any formal interview, because the one job I had that was like a normal type of job, the one, well, sort of normal, the one where I was working on rockets and stuff, it was a small company, and I think they looked into my work enough to just not even ask for an interview. And they just brought me on because I started as an intern and then I became a normal software developer for them in under a year. But yeah, so I've never actually been in an interview like that, so yeah. The fun thing is at that time I didn't know the stuff I needed to know to answer those interview questions. It's annoying because the stuff you need to know to answer those interview questions is the stuff you learned in college, but the stuff you need to actually do stuff is not that. It's not hard to like teach yourself that stuff you need to answer the interview questions, so it just kind of feels like a waste of time to me, because there are certain cases where you work on projects and you need to know that stuff, but you can look it up as you need it, as opposed to knowing it all off the top of your head. I'm gonna have to like skip over some of these chat messages in the middle. I can't really read all of them. Well, I can tell you guys are talking about networking stuff, but I'll probably do a video, like, or a series for like a tutorial for online games. I don't quite feel qualified to do that yet, since I haven't actually released any online games, and that's what I plan to work on after Vagrant, though. What wallpaper? Oh, the background thing. The wall. That's from my devlog series. You can look it up. So the thing on the background is not from the game I'm working on, although some of that code from that project is being used in this game. It's complicated. It went through a couple phases, but it ended up here partially. Anyways, so I need to start mapping force locations. So I'm going to comment this out for now, and I'll get back to this later. I don't need to do that for now. So I need to determine what's going to have force. So I could say any fast moving entity, and then any projectile could probably have it, or any fast moving projectile, and then I could create a force on impact for like when projectile hits something, or when or when you like hit something with a sword. So the issue there is that I end up with two types of forces that need to be created. One that gets applied, well, like created once and applied over time, and other ones where it's created every single frame. So that's gonna be interesting. I guess I could say like duration and like decay and stuff. So like the initial ones just last for one frame or something, and then the other ones will decay. Like, do these particles have velocity? They have motion. I don't know if that's velocity. I think that is. Update motion. Yeah, that looks like that's velocity. So I can adjust that. My concern is that I don't think these particles, I think they have a constant velocity. They don't ever readjust themselves to be correct. So I think I should just temporarily offset, maybe. Or I could like return the velocity to the base velocity. Hold on. So I'm going to add a property to here for the motion. Self base motion equals self dot motion dot copy. So the other thing I'm going to need, I need to find out what particle type I'm even using for this stuff. It's a P particle. Really? Hold on, I'm gonna do a little bit of a hack here just to separate this. So P is going to be P foreground. And then if self.type in P foreground, I'll do pass because I need to update this to P foreground. So each of these particles, it needs to aim to return slowly to its normal, to its base velocity. So to do that, I believe in my core functions thing, I've got a function for adjusting values towards a certain value. Normalize. So normalize. Ooh, I can use a normalize vector. That would be fancy. That's the way you can make things look nice. But it uses a lot of math and it's kind of slow. I think I'll use it though. How can a round be? Whoa, wait. Oh, the way that normalizes is weird. So it like adjusts the magnitude. It doesn't adjust the angle. I think it just slows down the velocity for something that's moving like at an angle. That's interesting. So the whole purpose of this is to slow down the velocity of something so it doesn't change the direction, which is what I need to happen. So I'm going to have to do a wonky normalize, which is going to have some funky effects, but hopefully it won't be too noticeable. So I'm going to take normalize. Oops, I don't know. I don't have it here. So from .core funcs import normalize. So did I just pull that from the wrong? No, that needs to be over here. I already have it over here or something. Yeah, I do. So normalize self.motion 0. Let's say dt by 10, just slowly around self.base motion 0, self.motion 0 equals that, and then I do the same thing for the y-axis. So it's going to have some weird effects in the way, like, yeah, it's just some of the, I don't know how to explain it. I would need to like take a moment to do that, and I don't feel like taking the moment to explain how that has a weird visual effect by doing these separately like that. Anyways, part of the issue is that the way I think about things is not, I'm not one of those people that doesn't think with words, but that can't think with words. I'm one of those people that doesn't most of the time. So when I have a thought about something, usually I have to sit there and essentially translate it into words, and then that can take a while. Anyways, so I have motion normalization on these particles. I'm gonna make sure, oops, I hit the pop filter. I'm making sure that they still work the same, because I'm messing with their values technically. And since they work the same, oh, the FPS is lower. That's interesting. Wait, is that because of the position I was in? Oh yeah, it was because I moved to the left, and I guess it looks like I dropped 1 FPS by adding that code. Anyways, that 1 FPS is like nothing, so I'm not concerned about that. Anyways, particles, I'm trying to think of how I want to do this. I could build it into the particle system itself. That would be interesting. And then, yeah, I could do that. So, but actually, now that I think about it, the forces don't need to actually remain. Because I'm modifying the velocity, I don't have to keep up a force. It's already kind of stored within the particle when you adjust the velocity. So, I don't have to leave a force field there, like when there's an impact or something. I can just apply it once to everything, and then the velocity is adjusted, and it'll handle itself for the remainder of however long that velocity lasts. So, a force can be I don't even need to keep any sort of memory of the forces. I can just apply them as I need to. So, I can do, in the particle system, I can have an apply force function. Def apply force. Self, let's take a location, a chunk, radius, and a force. I think that's everything. So the location needs to be converted into the chunk that it's in. So I'll grab that from, I think, renderer. I had that commented out code. So I can take this and then delete that. So I'll call that position instead of location. I go back and forth between position and location all the time. It must be super confusing for anyone reading my code. And I use them to mean the same thing. So if the position's in the particle map, actually no, that doesn't matter yet. So I'm going to call this base. Can I type please? Base position. So this is the center, essentially, or I'll call it center position. And then the base position is the center on the grid. And then the chunk radius will go from there. So I do 4x in range, and it's going to be, I need base position 0 minus chunk radius to base position 0 plus chunk radius. I don't know if I did that right. I'm gonna have to check how range works. I kind of forgot. Wait, so it goes, I know that the lower values inclusive, and I think the upper value is not, but I'm wondering if they're the same, do you get nothing? So I'm gonna check that real quick. So range says range 0, 1 just gives me, hold on, list range gives me 0. What is 0, 0? It's nothing. Uh-oh. So I need to probably add a +1 right here, just so that it's all inclusive. So in which case I'll have like 0, 1, that's the center, and then I could have, if my radius is 1, I could have that, and then this would be 2, and that's what I'm going for. So this needs to be Y. Position equals XY. And then with this, I can start modifying particles. And then from the center position, I need to update these variables. So this is where it's going to care about the center position and the angle to it. But I'm going to read chat before I go and do that math. What is motion normalization? It's just taking motion and well, when I say normalization, sometimes I'm referring to cutting it down to 0 so that something's not moving over time. And then the other thing it could be is normalizing it to a specific value. So it could be normalizing it to moving to a certain direction. So it's kind of confusing, but yeah. You want to create a website as long as HTML with it, or should you use language already you know? HTML is used to make all websites. You should know it. Well, except for the ones that we're using other software to generate it. But HTML is just for the front end, and it's kind of the building blocks. But it's not a language. It's more like what is a language? It's not a programming language. It's the formatting for your website. You need a programming language to run the logic for a website, both the back end and sometimes the front end. Actually, not always the back end. So you can have a fully static website, but yeah. In all cases, you need to learn HTML, but you don't necessarily need to learn another language if you make websites. It depends what you're doing. Nowadays, almost definitely you have to learn JavaScript and CSS. Anyways, back to this. So I'm going to have to adjust the motion on these particles. So I need the angle. Do I have math imported? Yeah, I do. Math.atan2. So it's y difference, x difference. From p.position 1. So I think it's angle 2 essentially. So wait. Actually, subtract the destination from the location. So wait, no, the location from the destination, I believe. And since I want the particles to move away, I subtract the particle position from the center position. So that'll give me an angle, and with this angle, I can advance. Do I have advance? I'm taking advance. This is another function I have. It's for moving a vector at an angle. I think advance, where is it? Or clip, outline, advance. Angle, amount. So I give it an angle and give it an amount and it'll modify it. So take this, advance p.motion by this, p.motion equals that, and then so it's the angle and I need the force, which is the amount I'm adjusting it. So now I should have that applied. I think that's everything. Now let's see if this even works. So over in entities, I'm going to do a bit of a hack. Where's the update? Self.game. Where's? I don't know if render's in the game or the world. I think it's in the game, but I have to double check that. So here's game. Oh yeah, it is. So dot render. Did it close render? Oops. Dot overlay particles. Dot apply force. And what are the arguments? Center position, chunk radius, and force. So the center position is going to be the player center. Self dot player dot center. Chunk radius, let's do 2, and the force will be 10. Wait. Oh, the force should be modified by DT. Wait. Ooh, this is tricky. Oh, wait, no, I would do it from here. So I would do by self.game.window.dt. So it needs to accelerate to over the course of a second. Renderer. Particle manager. What? Oh, oops. This just becomes self. Oh wait, no. Hold on. Base position equals. What? What happened here? Why is that line there? What? So I don't need that. So they should get blown away from me. They're only getting blown left, which is concerning. yeah, I can see the particles getting blown left when they come near me. I don't know why. So it's not pulling. Hold on, I'm gonna try coming down on particles. They'll just go left. So in particles. Oh, that's why, because the positions don't translate 1-to-1. That's why. Yeah. So this becomes base position, not... Oh, wait. Center position equals... Uh-huh. I need to translate it first, store that, and then I can do center position 0, center position 1. This seems to be working. So, let's increase the force and the range and see what happens. This is gonna be interesting. So the force will become 500, the range will become 4. This is having some rather chaotic effects because they loop around and then they come back with that speed. But I should do something where when they loop around their speed gets normalized. I think that's over in the renderer. Yes, it's right here. Particle.motion equals particle.baseMotion.copy. And then I have to do it for all of these. So I can like force the particles away. So let's set this to like 2 and 1000 and see what happens. That's too much. I'm trying to make something that's reasonable. So let's do 301 maybe? I'm just looking to like have the particles physically react a bit from the player running around. It would be cool if I could like set. Ooh. Yes, I could make that an argument. Wait, particles, apply force. Set equals false. If not set, I'll do if set and then else. Pass, else. So if you set it, you don't advance. It does this. It doesn't add to the velocity, it sets it. So that's gonna be an option. That has some weird effects with DT though. In which case, I do set equals true. I turn off DT and set it to 200. So entities. So this is probably too much. I'm just looking to knock it around a bit. So they're moving left. Wait, they're going the opposite direction almost. Wait, I'm staying still. I'm gonna restart it. It's getting attacked. I'm curious to see. They don't want to move left. It's like if I move right. Oh, I want to like. I want to force an angle. Ooh, this will be interesting. Force angle equals. How do I get like the? Do I store the last movement amount? Entity. Def move. That's not what I want. So I'm going to add something. Self.last movement equals 0, 0. And then in move, I'm going to do self.last movement equals motion.copy. That should work. So the dot player dot last movement, and this has to be math dot atan2. That's gonna be 1, 0. I have to import math now. So force angle equals none. Angle equals, I'm gonna pre-generate this and just type it in here. Angle equals that. If force angle is none. So the reason why I can't just do if force angle or if not force angle is because 0 also would fall into that category, but I want to be able to force the angle to 0. So else angle equals it'll just be force angle, and then from here I already have the force angle, so what? I'm actually going to switch it to using DT again. Where's my... Is it 200 by self.game.window.dt, and let's not use set. Wait, I'm gonna check FPS real quick. I dropped like 5 FPS by adding this feature, but it's worth it. I'm gonna increase the range by 1. No, I don't like that. So 400 maybe? Well, can't be faster than the player. Ooh. What if I set it to the player's movement speed? So set equals true. And it becomes it's a square root. I need to do like math.square root of that plus this. That becomes the speed, but I want it to be slightly lower, so I'm going to do by 0.7. That didn't do much, did it? But theoretically, did that not work? What? Why doesn't that want to work? Oh, wait. That depends on the frame rate. Oh. So great. So I need to somehow. This is per second. So this actually becomes. So the faster time, well, the less time has passed, the greater this number should be. Divided self.game.window.dt. I think that's correct. This is becoming a very long, well, it's becoming a lot of math. There we go. That's what I was looking for. I want to do a thing where it's like the effectiveness depends on the distance from the center position. For that, I need to pull up my core functions again because I believe I have a function for that. Get this. Get this. This equals get this center position p dot position. So take those two, get the distance, force by dis. Wait, no. Force rate equals dis divided by chunk radius by, and then that's the chunk size self.map particles. By force rate. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do this divided by 2 plus 0.5 because I don't want it to go less than 0.5 of the original force. So they're like following me a little bit too much there, so maybe I do want to turn that down. Let's do by 0.4. Like, they're seriously following me too much. Still too much. That's what I'm looking for. Just that kind of subtle effect where you can tell that something's happening. I'm like grouping up these particles right here. The way the loop around is gonna be a bit of a problem. I feel like the position needs to be... I need to see how this works with the dash. Okay. Okay. Anyways, so now I have the code to make something move. Now I need to like have a setting to turn it on. So self.impact foreground particles equals false, and if that's true, on update after movement it'll attempt to do it. Toward that update. I guess I'll do it here. If self.impact foreground particles, then self.gameRunner becomes self.center. 1, that becomes self.last movement. Self.last movement. I think that's everything. I'm gonna like turn that up a little bit. Alright, I gotta turn it on for the player. So I go into player and I do this equals true. So now my movement affects the particles. Now I need to do it for projectiles. So this is where things are gonna get interesting. So could do it for a hitbox too that has an angle, I think. I believe hitboxes have angles, right? Yes, they do. So I can say if the hitbox has an angle, it applies. But projectiles first. I'm actually gonna read chat first. Just a few of them though, because I don't want to just read chat all stream. Although it looks like you guys are talking to each other again. What's wrong with Pycharm? So it does some weird stuff with libraries or something. I don't remember. I think it just kind of creates a virtual environment or something for Python, and causes some people some confusion or something. I'm not entirely sure. I just don't recommend it because people have all sorts of issues with installing libraries or something. I don't know. Yeah. You have to learn Node.js. I don't like Node.js, but I did have to use it for work. Which operating system would you prefer for programming? I do prefer Linux. Well, the only reason I'm using Windows right now is because the my equalizer for my voice, like the plugin I use for OBS, only works on Windows. There is no Linux version of it, so I could everything else I think I could do like for the stream on Linux except for that, which is unfortunate. Yeah. So okay, I gotta get over to projectiles, which is here. So on the update, I'm going to apply the motion to the foreground particles. Oh, this is where it hits as well. Ah, where? Hey, I need this. So this for velocity or an angle? I need to find that out. Rotation, cool. Is the rotation in degrees or is it radians? Come on, where's the part where it moves? Oh, here it is. So it is in radians, that's good. So for the angle, this just becomes the radians value, which is self rotation. So this could be it should probably be in the angle, yeah, of actually I'm not gonna force an angle on this, just default to whatever it is. So this is the force. I believe this has just become self.speed. So that becomes bigger. I'm doing set for now. It's probably gonna have to be changed. And this becomes self.position. Oh my. So that should be the impact one. So I can like shoot and the particles move. So actually for this one, it should be in the direction of the projectile. speed equal force angle equals self dot rotation. But when it actually hits something, it should not be forced into the angle of it. Whoa, what happened there? I just saw one go flying across to my left. Okay, so projectiles, I have this one. This actually probably shouldn't be set so that other things can override that. So that's an increment, which means this needs to be a smaller number, or else I'm gonna get some weird effects. It's supposed to not maintain its velocity when it loops around like that. I thought I got rid of that. Actually, a set might be better. And then so this is for hitting entities. In a radius of 2 with no force angle. So I don't have any entities to shoot yet. So where's the part where it does this for like hitting terrain? Is that if there we go. Boom. Boom. I should be forcing them away pretty hard, but I guess not. Needs to be harder. Let's do half of the speed of the projectile. Radius of 2, that's good. Just 0.7. I think it's because it's got the fall off. So boom. I think that's a bit much for the speed, so let's do 4 or 5. I think 5 is enough. That works, cool. I'm trying to make sure it works with entities. Wait, hold on. I need to make sure the absolute speed is great enough if I'm gonna do this. Here's this. Let me see what this number's coming out to be. So when I'm staying still, it's like single digit numbers. So if it's less than 10, ignore. Force equals this. Wait, I don't know if this pairs up correctly. Wait, I think I got it right, whatever. So this is force. Actually, no, I think that doesn't go there. So now, if force is less than, well, is greater than 10, then you can apply. So it should be kind of ignoring me as a player. Yeah, they do seem to. Yeah, so that works. I think I should increase the normalization on the projectile, well, the particle speed. So let's double the normalization rate. So boom. It's still not fast enough. It needs to be like 100. It should visibly slow down at some point here. Cool. So that works. I just needed to get it on the, like, these kinds of hitboxes as well. And wait, hold on. How much is the standing FPS? That's good. How much is it when I shoot? Okay. Yeah, so I gotta do it on the hitboxes. So in, well, first of all, I'm gonna take this code. And then gonna go over to the hitboxes. So when there's a hitbox, update. Does it have like a... How does it track its location? What? Getting its location is tricky. I might just do it for the impact because I'm lazy. So if you hit something, blah 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 blah. If self.angle, handle particle impact. If self.angle is the same thing as glow, but I want to isolate this for the sake of making things easier to read. So force angle equals angle. Oh wait, self.angle. Actually, I don't feel like that's necessary. I'll just do it either way, without an angle. So set. Ooh, how should this be? This shouldn't be proportional damage. I don't know what it should be proportional to though. I mean, maybe it should be proportional damage, but it's like logarithmic. For the time being, let's just say 50 or 100. And a radius of 2. How do I even entity.center? So boom, boom. I can't tell if that's working or not. So I think it's just not enough force. So I need to go over to hitboxes again. Let's triple that force. So I'm right here, and boom. I couldn't see like a noticeable impact. Oh wait. Oh, there's like different. Hold on. Actually, this is a mistake in the projectiles one. That should be like that. For the hitboxes one, I think this is correct. 800 pixels a second. That's a lot. Oh, I saw him go flying. There we go. So 400, like they're there. Let's see. Boom. So I saw that red one go flying. So let's see. I saw those go flying. Come on. I'm waiting for it to get near some particles I can actually see well. That didn't work. I'm waiting for some more stuff to appear. So I mean, I guess it's technically there and I know that, but here's this one. There we go. Actually, wait, hold on. Isn't there actually? I think there's a force value in the hit, like a knockback thing. Ooh. Let's do this. Particle force equals 400 if knockback in self.config, then particle force equals that. However much the entities get knocked back. So that's actually a scalable solution. There we go. So if I, for example, yeah, I can see it moving. I'm good. So that's done. That was my last thing on this list. I'm gonna make a git commit real quick. What? I should be logged in. Wait, I have to do it like this. I don't know. Push. I don't know what it is. I don't remember what this includes because I don't remember exactly what I did yesterday. I could figure it out, but I don't feel like doing that right now. Not sure what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna read chat for a moment. Okay, I guess you guys were talking about improving. You're going to sleep. Good night. It's like just afternoon for me. It's like 1:42. You guys can't see that though. You aren't subscribed, but YouTube recommended today and yesterday. That's because YouTube does this thing where it over promotes live streams for whatever reason. I don't know why, but like relative to normal videos, it completely over promotes them. Yeah, I'm using Pygame 2 right now. I've never played Among Us, so I don't have. I find the meme annoying, but although I did stick it in one of my videos, but never played it. I've played Town of Salem though, and a lot of it. I used to play it a lot, but yeah, not Among Us. I also played Turbulent Terrorist Town, which is even closer to that. I mean, there's by default some GPU acceleration in Pygame 2. I can show you. Wait, where is it? So it's running at 13%. If I turn off the game, it drops down to 10-ish. So it's like it's at 3%. It's using it barely. Oops, I didn't mean to close it. But you couldn't see what I was looking at. But yeah, so it's using 3% of my GPU. So it's a very tiny amount. I'm not sure what it's using it for, by default, but it's using it for something. It must be some overhead stuff that's using it for, but yeah. I think there's going to be more functionality to support that. You're gonna have to code a bit differently, so it's not like the same functionality. The existing functionality is about twice as fast, but there will be added functionality soon that will make it that will use hardware acceleration. I actually don't know how you say. I always say it's Kinter. I have no clue how you're actually supposed to pronounce the name of that module, but yeah. Have I ever used Kinter with Pygame? Trying to make a tile set creator. I've never tried it. I just do everything in raw Pygame. I've used Kinter on its own. But yeah, I've never tried to use them together. Anyways, I have to use the restroom, so I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So, yeah, I need to figure out what I'm going to do next. So, I think the next thing, well, I'm just gonna run through, make sure there's no visual effects I want to change, but, I did want to add, like, cloth here. I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I also kind of wanted, like, a big building in the background right here, but I'm also not gonna mess with that right now. I don't think there's anything that's super important. I think the next thing is, I'm gonna double check the white zone, but I think the next thing is just the next area. Oh, I want to add some items and weapons. I think I even had artwork prepared. So this should link to another area. It's going to be a combat intro area. So I'm actually going to get to making content for this game finally. I've finished all the random visual effects for now, at least. There's definitely going to be more before I'm done with the project, but yeah. The layering here is trippy. The box is in front of me, and so is the grass, but the grass is in front of the box. The box is between me and the grass, but my movement bends the grass. It's a little bit funky. Anyways. So yeah, I have new items I want to add. Let me see what they were, because I have drawn pictures of them. I think it's like an apple and beef. Yeah. These will be new items. So I need to like quickly look at how, like, all the stuff I have to add for items. So I know I have to add a thing in animations for them. So what I should probably use as a reference is like the potion. Can it be any size? Hold on. Oh, it does have like an icon. Or it can. Call it item apple. Item salted beef. Or steak. Salt preserved beef. So I have to add both these. Shrink that down. File, save as. Images, animations. Item apple. And this becomes image 0. Or is it image 0 or is it just 0? It's image 0. So on top of the apple, I need this. File, save as, animations, item salt preserved beef. I think there's somewhere else I might have to add these. So it's not weapons, they're not weapons. I don't have to do that. Misc? Nope. Particles, projectiles, skills. So the potion has one. I think that might be it actually. So pretty sure there's an item configuration thing I gotta go through over here though. Yeah. So we have salt, preserved beef, and I'll copy this stuff down. So the type because it's just item. Salt, preserved beef. A hunk of gray looking beef that has been preserved with salt. It tastes questionable, but it's still a good source of protein. Apple. Name. Apple. Description. That shall be the description, I guess. I might change some of these descriptions later, but for now I can just do whatever. So I'm gonna stick these inside some of those crates. So if I go into destructibles, I think the boxes will contain iron, so I'm gonna stick some food in there. So they'll have a high rate of apples and meat. So do by 3 chance 0.5. And then salt preserved beef. So theoretically inside here, look at all these items. I got some salt preserved beef, a hunk of gray looking beef that has been preserved with salt. It tastes questionable, but it's still a good source of protein. And I got some apples. We can't eat them yet. I should make these consumables. And they heal you, maybe. I don't know. I might mess with that later. For now, I can just hold them. Am I not holding? I am holding my. There's a lot of items in the game now. I need to like get my hands on all of them so I can fix the scrolling on this menu, because it doesn't actually scroll yet. Like I can switch through the items, but it doesn't scroll when you have like 20 items yet. I'm gonna go ahead and save. And then close it. And then my save file should have me still have these things. Yeah. Yeah, it's an apple. Can Pygame parse compressed images like JPEG? Yes. I don't recommend using them though. Mirror's Edge vibe? I haven't played Mirror's Edge. Wait, is Mirror's Edge that parkour game by, was it EA? I don't remember. Anyways, so I have the new items. I guess it's time to start making the new area. I'm gonna go pull out my notes really quick. Hold on, they're in a drawer over here. Oh, did I put them in the drawer? I don't remember where I put them. I didn't go back. Oh, I see. Aha. Cool, I found my notes. So I can't show you it because I'd have to take a picture and then like load it into OBS. But I have I actually sketched out the entirety of this first area, and it's fairly accurate to what it actually ended up being. Although the bird's hanging from the wrong side of the tree from where I sketched it. There's a couple things I didn't put in. There was, old leather was supposed to be, wait. I was supposed to be able to pick up a knife. Interesting. Huh. Okay, so I guess I'm not done with this area. I'm supposed to create a knife. Which is interesting, because, well, okay. Anyways. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm going to get a spawner to spawn items. Because that's gonna need to be a thing. So I'm gonna make the old leather first. So, it's gonna be brown, I guess. So I can take this color. Should I do it like the Minecraft leather, where it's actually kind of the shape of the animal? I feel like Minecraft is so well known that you see that shape and you think leather. The other, like, if I just kind of do a hunk of this, it's kind of hard to tell it's leather. I think I'll go with this. I don't want to rely on the audience knowing what Minecraft is. So there we go. So I don't know if I'm doing this right. I think that works. Well enough, at least. Does that look like a hunk of leather? Hopefully it does. There, I'll take that, and then shrink, boop, file, save as, animations, new, folder, item, old leather. Image 0. I gotta go over to config. Where's the... That's destructibles. Items, right. Old leather. Old leather. An old piece of leather that was probably already used for something else. It's not all this weird. Okay, so now in here I'm gonna put a actually I want to put it with the apples. Oh, no, it's with the potions. Shit, that can't be there. So this is old leather. And then I'm gonna have to delete my save file because I broke all the destructibles already that would contain that. I'm gonna start closing things because there's too many things open. I'm gonna have to create a new weapon soon here though. So this needs to be deleted. So I should start off fresh, which puts me on the left here with just the gun. But does it like create particles? No, it doesn't. Okay. So I'm gonna break these real quick. The items are stuck in the wall. I do need to fix that. Man, he's in the wall. I need to like stop him from doing that because that's really annoying. How many? I just wanna. It's taking forever to collect all these items. There we go. I'm gonna save, close, and open it back up to get rid of the enemies. I have 43 iron. So I'm gonna quickly equip this, and then save and close and open. So I have that equipped, so I can use that if I want. So I have the old leather, the apple, salt preserved beef. There we go, and my ring. Alright, so that's there. So the next thing on my list is the old knife. So I have to draw an old knife. I'll probably use the... wait. What? I guess its grip should be wooden. And then... well, I can use like this color, I guess. So this is kind of like long. This looks, because of the shape, it looks somewhat like a cooking knife. But whatever. So that is the old knife. Might make it a little bit longer. There we go. So I have the old knife. It's a pretty long knife, but whatever. You need to be able to see it anyways. So I do have to like do this weird centering thing. So black, and I have the width has to be almost double. Oh, actually, I can go left one, so I can go like this. So I've got 18. It should probably be like, not 36, but let's do 34. Or actually, 32 should be fine. The idea is that the center of the image should be the grip of the knife. So actually I need to move it left a bit more and then shrink it 2 more. I can tell by that bottom dot that the middle's on the grip there. That's what I'm looking for. So save as, animations, new folder, item, old knife. And then that's just image 0. The default weapon needs to be the old knife. Probably. Probably gonna delete my save file again. And then, actually, I'll put it in there with the revolver, and the revolver will be there for debug purposes. The revolver's already OP. Like, it two-shots those flying thingies. And I made it OP for development purposes, because I don't want to shoot, like have to shoot a ton to deal with them while I'm working on the game. I'm gonna nerf it later. So I'm going to have to take the same image. Actually, wait. Oh, so it is shrunk down for this. So I'm gonna have to shrink it down. This only has to be like that for over here, where it's the old revolver. And then over here, did you just call it the old revolver? No, the old old knife. And then over here I can actually shrink it down. And boom. So now I do need to specify that this is a weapon. I think I just have to do it here. I'm gonna have to do it like the sword. So, rifle, revolver, SMG. No, wait, what? Oh, here, yeah, it's a sword. So this is the old knife. Ammo type is infinite. Projectile type is none. Capacity is -1. Reload mag, because I guess it doesn't matter. Attack rate. Probably should be a bit slower, so I'll do 2. Controls left, accuracy. What is... I don't know what accuracy does for swords, but combo. I'll give it this same pattern. Primary range. What is primary range? I don't remember what primary range is. Let's see what it is on this. What is it? Okay, well, hold on. Oh, it's for AI to determine which weapon it should be using, so it can switch between the weapons. So that's fine. Max rank is 0, skill list is null. Affinity requirements is 100. Okay, so I'm gonna clone. Where's the weapon? Weapons. Duplicate. Ooh. Oops. I just remembered I cannot have an underscore in that, so it's gonna be old knife like that. And then in items, I haven't done this yet. I gotta do that later. Over here, old knife, like that. Images, weapons, old knife, and then Now I can duplicate this, and then this becomes old knife. Put up high. Old knife. The way this works is kind of wonky. So the arc is gonna probably be tweaked. Do I have a color? This color is gonna need to become white. Let me see what the white I use is. Okay, it's pure white, so I can just can I like specify the damage? Apparently not. So this is the old knife hitbox then. Is there a configuration thing? Yes. Cool. Old knife. Power is gonna be 4. Knockback is gonna be much smaller. Let's do 5 actually. And then, so this color also needs to be updated. I think I need to, thank you car. What is this? I'm gonna keep those effects right now, and then I'll tweak them later once I figure out how. I do need to add the item information for it. So old knife. Actually, no underscore. Name old knife. Description. It's an old kitchen knife. It's barely useful for combat. Might come up with a better description later. Type weapon. So now I have to make it so that you spawn with it if you're on a fresh save file. So I'm actually gonna delete my save file again. And I'm gonna do, I think it's in entities. So if you're not using the save, it gives you, where does it give you the revolver? What? This is using the save. Oh, here it is. Wait, so old knife. So now my weapon is the old knife. Oh. The range on that is way longer than it should be. So I'm gonna cut back on that range a bit by updating the arc. So the cool thing about the combat system I have is that it's mask based. All of the combat for melee weapons is based, like the hitbox is based on the visual effect that's created. So that arc. So if this arc is big, it will like have a big hitbox for the weapon. So I need to shrink that. It's where does this arc come from? So VFX, I think it's like just VFX, so arc. I need to find the arc and see what the arguments are because I do not know. So it's type, position, I think. Yeah, radius? What? Spacing. I don't think the radius is... What happens if I set this to 0? Apparently I don't want that. So what if it's 1? That attack looks really long like that. So I want the length of it to be shorter. So spacing, I believe, is the distance from the player. Wait. Why would I use a random value for that then? And start angle. So I'm gonna decrease this to 15. Speed. So this one shouldn't go out as far. What's after speed? Curve rate. This is an interesting one. And scale, I think I'm gonna knock that down to 4. Arc stretch 200. $200, 200, 300, 300. I think that's what I'm looking for. What's making this one launch out the way it does? I'm not sure. That's this is hard to hit. It's such a tiny hitbox, but that works because it's supposed to be a trashy weapon. You can't even attack with it very fast. So the first one is down. The second one's up. Down, up. I need, like, there's a combo limit or something. Combo cooldown. I think this needs to be increased a bit for this weapon. I think, like, there's 2 of them that just spawned. And he's got the other sword. It's not the knife. There's 3. Hold on, I'm restarting. So, that last attack's not even coming out at the right angle. I don't know if the other sword does that. Is that, like, do I just take that out? I don't know if that's correct. I think that's correct. There we go. So this is actually I'm going to knock this down to 11. And I'm gonna make this a wide arc. So the arc stretch, I think, is the second to last field. Curve rate, no. Where's the stretch? Arc stretch. Oh, this is its own field. So let's stretch this to 400, maybe. Okay, that's too much. 250. That's what I'm looking for. I think they might be lasting a little bit too long though. Duration? Yeah, it needs to be turned down. 4 or 5, I think we'll do it. Boop, boop, boom. It's really trashy. So, old knife. It's an location knife. It's badly, it's barely useful for combat. Man, I can't read. Okay, so. Boop. How many hits does it take to open these boxes? Should there... oh, yeah. Yeah, I do need to make... I do need to make... the skills for this weapon. So the old knife skill should probably be some, like, kind of dash or something. That would be interesting. Like you use it and you like put out something in dash, probably. Or maybe there shouldn't be a skill for it because it's an old knife. I don't know, because I think most weapons are gonna have skills. I don't know if I should give the beginner weapon a skill, because I'm going to want there to be a lot of options as to what weapon you use, and if I put skills on the beginner weapon, most people are going to try to use it for way longer than they probably should be. But it would also be funny if like it were super weak until you use it enough to get the final skill for it, and then it has some weird dumb effect or something. I don't know. I think I'll leave it for now and not give it any skills. Or maybe I should give it like a basic skill for like teaching the player how the game works, kind of. I'm gonna check how the effect looks over here. So, oh, that looks interesting. I think the player might be a bit too fast. Now that I'm looking at it, the fact that it can outrun the effect almost, or maybe I'll probably have like this is the movement speed you get when. Also, the jump height's really high. I'll probably have like a ring that increases your movement speed. Yeah, this is like a big jump. The default's probably gonna not have double jumping, and that'll be something you can get from a ring. So like one of the rings will probably give you higher jumps and movement speed and stuff. Man. See how many hits this takes? This is even with the dash ability. Imagine doing this without the dash ability. That would be a pain. Hello, person who is late. I see you're a huge fan. Hello. Okay, yeah, so I have the weapon. I need to find a way to drop it in the world so that you don't actually have to spawn with it. Because in the end, this area is actually not going to have the enemies that I keep spawning with. It's going to be just items and, like, I'm gonna put... Oh, I need to drop a platform right there. There needs to be a platform right on that table there. And that's where you're gonna find the old knife. Yeah, so I'm gonna put the knife on a table and use a bit of a spawner trick. Wait, no, hold on. I need to like make it so that things can only be spawned once. But if you don't kill it or take the item or whatever the equivalent is, it'll spawn again. I probably need to do that. So I already had a setting for that. So in the spawners thing, guaranteed spawn, that's the setting. So I need to apply this, and then what I'm going to do is make it so that the only way that that counts as having spawned something and like it gets saved is when the first thing gets killed. Should it be one of the entities or all of them? I think one of them's fine. So there's gonna be some exploits, but it won't be particularly useful. Because it's not the main combat's going to be boss fights. You could exploit it to reduce the enemies you have to fight in some areas by messing with the save stuff, but it's not a huge deal. And it would probably not work in most cases. So yeah, I think it's fine to just say if one entity is killed from a spawner or taken, if it's an item, then the spawner won't spawn again. Actually, no, that's probably not worth it. I think what I'm going to do is just create a dedicated item spawner where it just spawns an item one time. Or like until it's picked up. Yeah. So I'm gonna I need to create a thing for it. So that's going to be in the entities category, I think. So I'll go into spreadsheets, entities. So it's just going to be I. So I'll copy this and then just replace it with I. That's going to be black background. And then this is going to become I, so that I know what I'm looking at. I can't. There we go. So that's that. So I can copy this out into the level editor. So data, vagrant editor, level editor, import, save. Oh no, I have to like overwrite this thing. Now I have it. Import, save. So from here, I do need to put a platform on this little table here. And this is where you'll find, hold on, wait. I think, wait, did it say old leather? And so what I have written down here is, yeah, old leather and old knife. That's where you pick those up. Thank you, motorcycle. Yeah. So first I'm going to take a functional and put these on the table so you can actually stand on that table, because that's going to be essential. Because the items... Oh wait, don't the items drop through? That was a thing, wasn't it? I think it was. Yeah, they do. Well, I'm gonna turn it on and see if it lags. Or I could just turn it on if it's an item that comes from a spawner. That would work. That's what I'll do. So for now, it'll just appear on the ground, but I'll fix that later. So you're not gonna spawn, like there's no way to spawn next to this, so I can actually just spawn these in the air and have them drop. So I need 2 item spawners. One of them is going to spawn the hold on, let me check my layers here real quick. There we go. So one of the spawners is going to spawn the old knife, and the other one's going to spawn some old leather. So I'm going to copy that. I'll make a new folder, well, new thing here. I'll actually duplicate the spawners one. Yeah. And call it item spawners. And then like replace this ID. So it's gonna have the exact same logic, except instead of spawning entities like that, it's gonna spawn items. Actually, you know what? It's almost easier if I just check whether or not it's an item or an entity. Nah. I'll leave it like this, so it's 2 separate files. So the item spawners are always going to have this specific functionality. So it's actually item and count. That's it. So it'll be like ID old knife count 1. That's literally all it needs. ID old leather count 1. Hold on. There. Close that. Remove that. What is this for? Oh, this is for contents. So I take this, I copy that, paste. This one's gonna be the old leather, and the other one's gonna be the old knife. And then I gotta go over here, grab the other ID, which is that one, and then save. So the save has been updated to today's date. Data maps. So intro becomes intro v6, and then this is just intro. So I now have the spawners. What happened? Oh, the config is messed up. Hold on. It doesn't like, probably, yeah, it doesn't like that. I'm curious what it looks like over there, so I'm gonna go check that out. Can I send? Yes, I can. I'm being chased. So, just gotta handle the configuration generation here. It's gonna work the same way as the other one. So, config from spawner config to item spawner config. Item spawners. Print item spawner config. There we go. So there we go. I have my 2 item spawners configured. Now I have to just make them actually spawn. And I do have to track which ones I've taken the item from. So this is actually in entities, there's a thing. So if entity type 1 is 6, that's the item spawner. Self.spawners.append spawner actually works. Item spawner equals true. That's all I'll do to make sure it knows it's an item spawner. So in the spawner, actually wait, you only have to do it on level load. So there's actually no reason to use a spawner. So I'm actually going to go into entities and remove that. So it doesn't need to do that, it actually just needs to spawn it. So I just spawn an item. I have some code up here for, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Man, I don't have the thing that determines what the way the drops are generated is. Hold on, let me see how the entities do it when they die. Wait, no, they're given it. So when they spawn, I thought I made like a utility function somewhere to like generate items. Maybe an in item. Create item, no. Item serializer. Serialize item. Yes. So the data. Hold on, let me check my save file to see the formatting on this. I can serialize it. Amount, tags. Okay. So, oops. That's something else. So I can serialize it, and I think I do have to give it an amount, but so I give it type amount, and that's it. So from .item serializer import serialized item. From .item serializer import serialized item. And then down here it's going to be self.game. I need to give it type and amount. So type will be based on the config. I'll do none for now. Amount equals 1. Owner is gonna be none. Ooh, should it be the spawn ID? So I think it's just like that. So I need to get the type from the configuration. which the spawner has some information on. Config. Source spawner config. Okay. Item spawner config. There we go. So I look up the item there. Is that actually the direct format I need? So, and it has type instead of ID. Item config equals item spawner config entity ID. So the type becomes that, and then the amount equals didn't I call it count? Man. Yeah, it's count. So if entity ID in spawner item spawner config, then I do this, and then this is the item config. So serialize the item, and then I have to drop it by doing self.drop item. Cool. So that's the item info that can go here. I need the location of the drop though. That's just the tuple position. Cool. So that should drop now, theoretically. And it crashed. Oh right, it needs to be an int. Entity ID equals int entity ID. Wait. But that's the other way around, isn't it? Ooh. Oh, I see. For item in, because this is a list, it's not actually just straight up info for one item. You can spawn multiple items from one spawner. So I have to do this, and then this becomes item. Tags. What are tags? What? There should be no tags, I think. Tags equals that for now. What? The owner has to be an object. So owner is going to be none. Spawner equals entity ID. Wait, oh no, spawner equals that. None. I think that's how you do it. How did I do it up here? Yeah, you just said it says it comes from none. So I'm gonna have to add an argument though for every single type of item. I think I'm gonna have to go to the item serializer to see how this works. Spawner equals none. Create weapon tags. I did it with all these. There. So now I have to go over to like all these different things. So create weapon, which is under weapon, I think. under attack. Where do I not have it? Is it weapons? There we go. So spawner equals spawner. Spawner equals spawner. And then do that. And then the weapon class needs to be able to take that. And so does okay. So weapon spawner equals spawner. Spawner equals spawner. And then that goes back to item. Spawner equals spawner. Self dot spawner equals spawner. Actually no, no, that's not right. It needs to be spawner equals none. And then in weapon, spawner equals none by default. And same thing here. None by default. Now I have to do rings and consumables. So ring, I think it just splats the arguments. Oh, it doesn't even touch them. Cool. Consumables. Let's see. Consumable. Okay. So it should all pass through now. So I'm gonna do a thing. If spawner print spawner, so I know that it initialized properly. Where's that? I'm sure it was there. What did I do? Where did I do that? Here? Ah, oops. Create item. Where does create item come from? Does it come from item? Uh-huh. Wait, how does... How am I spawning it over here then if I'm not passing it a reference to the game? Oh. In create weapon you just pass a game. I see. What if I say this is the owner? So wait. With a weapon, who's the owner? So in create weapon, who's it set the owner to be? The owner is owner who's none. What? Uh-huh. Oh, it's just this thing. If game else, this is wacky, but it'll work. Owner.game it comes game in that case if you provide one. Game equals self.game. So what's serialize item use? Game. Ow. Actually, wait, now I gotta. Self.game goes here. So in here, it needs to do game equals game. It shouldn't be creating an item though. Why does it think it's an item? One of those should be a weapon. Or maybe it's crashing when I do the item one. Data. Let's see if how many. I serialized 2 old knives, which is good. So now they should exist theoretically. I think. They should have been right here. What? Let's go into item drop and do a little hacking. If self.item data type is old knife, print self.position. Oh, that's not how that works. Okay. Dot type. It's just infinitely falling. Interesting. I thought it had physics for the entire map, even if I'm not physically there. Wait, 51. Is that the actual location? '51's like over here. And where does this spawn? What height? 51's. Oh, that's the tile location, not the off-grid location, isn't it? Huh. Oopsies. So that goes into entities. So load entity, the position equals entity data 2, low 0. Find project, load entity. This is the one. I'm gonna have to open up the save to see. I think there's a field that like has the actual render position. Raw. It's raw 0. To raw 0. There you go, it's staying still, that's good. They're there, cool. So now the concern is, why did those other things spawn completely in the wrong spot? So I can take out that code. So spawners. Uh-huh. Shouldn't spawn over there though. I'm gonna wait for something to spawn. They should still spawn in this area, if I remember correctly. Both the spawners are... Oh yeah, that's correct, yeah, I'm good. I think that is just... coincidental. If I remember correctly, the other spawner's on the left. So now, I can actually give the player... Well, I don't have to give the player the old knife, so I can go into entities. And take out the old knife. Because on a fresh save, you should be able to just grab it. So, what else do I need to do? I need to delete my save, and I need to make sure that it can't respawn. So, that's gonna be in world. So, self.used item spawners equals that. Used item spawners. So I'll load it from the save file if it exists. I do need to delete my save because now it's actually just gonna crash. It can't use it anymore. No, that one. This one. So now I do need to update the save object though to generate that. Used item spawners equals self.game.world. Used item spawners. There we go. So now I just have to update that list, and it should persist. So that's based on when you pick up the item. So that's handled in player. I need to see what it calls so I can know when it's picked up by the player. Pick up item. Item dot process pick up. So go into where's item? Wait, hold on. Item data. So where's item? Okay, so def process pickup self. If self.spawner, if self.spawner not in self.game.world. Used item spawners. to append self.spawner. There we go. Now it shouldn't spawn again if I take it. So, well, actually I have to add the logic in here. So, if entity ID not in self.game.world. There we go. So I start on the left. I only have my pistol. That's correct. Take the knife. So that one should not respawn, and then the old leather should. So I save, close, open. I should have my knife, which I can equip. And then I need to go to the left here and make sure that, yes, the leather's still there, but the knife is not. So it actually saved which one I picked up. So that's good. So I'm actually going to take the revolver out of my inventory as well, so I can get the true experience. I'm also actually going to update the spawners and just remove them, because this level is pretty much done. So layer, remove these two entity spawners, because there should not be any entities in this level in the actual game. So data, maps, those were only there for debug purposes. So V7, I'm going to do, this is the new intro, go into entities, and I'm gonna actually comment this out in case I want to use it. I need to delete this save as well. Delete. I deleted the wrong save, hold on. I knew I was eventually gonna do that. So I need to delete this save. I have no weapon. I have a dash. That's a debug skill. I'm gonna take the old knife and the old leather. I can equip the old knife. Why does that spawn? Why does that... There's no spawners. I thought I removed them all. Did I put another one? Is there one on the right or something? That's what it seems like. Yes, that's the problem. So now I take this vagrant data maps, delete that one. This is the new intro. So there should not be any enemies spawning in this level now. So I have my old knife, which I can use to open these boxes. I can't reach all of these items, but I need to like make items like collect on the ground or something. So I have all these items. I thought there weren't supposed to be health potions in... Hold on. Oh, I just start with 4. Okay. Let's see if I can break these without making a mess. Oh no, they go straight into the corner because they slide so much. I can't quite reach those apples in the corner there. Ooh, the way the stacking works when you've got, like, some... Oh wait, no, never mind. So now I can break this one. It fell. So I now have my ruby ring, health potion, leather, got everything. And nothing has spawned, which is good. I can go save, and I can walk in here. And then this takes me back to the same spot. So that's the next thing, is to add the second area, which is the combat intro area. And the first enemy is not going to be that flying head thing I've been fighting. That thing is gonna be a pain for anyone with a knife. So you have to get so many hits off and stuff. And which is a pain to fight. Okay, I'm gonna read chat. And I can actually AFK here now because there's no enemies gonna spawn and kill me. Alright. Can you do a demo? I'm planning on it. I think what I'm going to do is at some point, maybe halfway through development, I'll do a demo with people in the Discord server. That's probably what I'll do. And then, yeah, I'll probably do a demo with people in the Discord server and get their feedback. But I won't do a public demo. It'll be like me manually sending demos to people. I'm not gonna do any sort of public release until the actual release. I can't use a switch statement in Python, what is it? Python 3.7. That's only, they only have that in Python 3.10. So, I think that's been officially released now? I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not on the correct version for that. It straight up doesn't exist. Also, even then, I'm not a fan of the syntax of that anyways. It's not like it saves that many lines to begin with. It's still if, or case. It's not, so yeah, I'm not wasting space by using if. Still reading. How to make physics? So the physics aren't exactly locked to pixel. Well, it sort of is and isn't. It is for, There's sub-pixel positioning, but the collisions are calculated on a pixel basis. But yeah, I have a video on how I did the physics. Like it's the same physics as I do in my main tutorial series, pretty much. I'll finish this game hopefully first half of next year, and then I'm hoping the second half I can work on a multiplayer game. I'm aiming for putting like 300 hours into this game, and I've already put like 60, so like 5 times more what I've already put into it. Why is the FPS so low? It's actually not that low for what I'm doing here. I'm going to have like graphics settings on a laptop, and I'll probably do some stuff to improve performance. But even on your average laptop, this should probably run. And actually, the reasoning for the performance issues is actually the particles on the front, and also the excess amount of tiles that don't need to be rendered that are being rendered. If I cut those out, it would actually go up a bit. I'm actually leaving the... Well, first of all, you can't use... Like, it's not even using the graphics card. If I pull up Task Manager, it's not going to mess with your 3090. It's just maxing out... Actually, it's not even maxing out CPU. It's just using the CPU. Using 20% of my CPU. So, it's weird how this works, but the it's not actually that hard on your computer. But what usually matters is the single core clock speed, and it's somewhat proportional to that. So most laptops, like even like yeah, like the $400 laptop should be able to run this. I think it might be running at 50 FPS. In the combat, you might notice some stuff, but for the most part, it's fine. I can run it on my laptop, which is a $600 laptop, and I get actually, I think, the same FPS. I can actually pull it up and check because it's a Git repository. I can commit this and check right now and see what this is. So hold on. Item drop spawners. So let me pull up my laptop here, and I'll check real quick what this is. Okay, I've got to move my keyboard. One moment. So pull up Atom. Fetching. Pull. I need to make sure I delete the save file. Delete that. Actually, no. I think I should have the save file I just used. So okay, so I'm gonna go and stand in the same spot I was standing before, and I'll compare the FPS. So I'm standing right here on my laptop. What? My laptop's running it faster. Okay. Hold on, let me... I'm using a different version of Python. I don't know if that's it. But I'm running it at 120 FPS in the exact same spot on my laptop. Hold on, I'm gonna... I'm gonna see if it was like a memory leak or something. I'm gonna do exactly what I did and... Oh, something leaked, I think. So I'm gonna have to figure that out, but it's actually... It's the exact same FPS. Yeah, pretty much the exact same FPS. I think, actually my laptop might be like 5% slower. But, hold on, let me check my specs on my laptop really quick. So the clock speed, okay, I've got 6 cores at 2.38 gigahertz on this laptop, so it's a decent CPU. But the base clock speed, the fact that it's 2.38 tells me that for whatever reason, and actually I could see this in Task Manager, it wasn't actually using the entirety of a single core, which is what it should be. Something else is going on here. So I'm not sure what the limit, what's causing the limit here, and why on completely different CPUs. Because not only is it like I have the same core count technically between these two computers. One's 6 and, well, they're both 6, but the base clock speed is completely different, and even the processor itself is completely different. So my laptop's an AMD CPU, and then my desktop's Intel. So I'm definitely going to have to do some more testing to see what's going on there. But if this holds just kind of for everything, where everything gets the same FPS, then I don't have to do anything. The game runs fine, because it's meant to run at on a 60 Hz display. I think I might allow it to go higher, but yeah. I'll also probably make sure I update the newest version of Python and Pygame before I release it, and that'll probably give me a good boost. But yeah, the performance is fine as far as I can tell. Ah, I did that wrong. Hold on, I tangled my cables. I have optimized a decent amount for this game already. It's just there's some things, let's see, the main thing is the tile rendering, and then the particles on the overlay. There's just a lot of trig going on, and trig is slow. Maybe I'll see if there's a library that has like approximated trigonometry, so it's not so slow to do those operations, but there's a lot of trig going on. Normally these types of particles would be done by the GPU, not the CPU, which is part of the problem. I could also reduce the particle count, and that'll fix it, but there's just a lot of stuff going on. The other thing is the background. The grass surprisingly runs super smooth. It barely impacts performance. It's amazing. I'm glad I went through the effort of optimizing that as much as I did. But yeah, there's like 3 main areas which I already looked at that are causing the performance to not be like 200 FPS. Actually, I wonder, the reason why it might be running this slow might be partially because I'm streaming on this computer. I wonder if I stop streaming if it'll speed up. I'll probably check that out after I finish. Anyways, but yeah, there's 3 main parts that slow this down. There's a tile rendering, because I have like layers of tiles where a bunch of things that you can't see are being rendered. I need to get rid of that. And then I need to... I can optimize the background more, probably. And then these particles in the front aren't the fastest. I could make them faster, probably reduce the trig, do all sorts of stuff. I have, so I don't need volunteers for performance checks. I'll probably ask what people are getting when I do the closed demo, but I have 3 other laptops I can use. One is I think 15 years old. Another one is I think 8 years old, and then the last one's more like 5 years old. Well, and then I have my actual laptop that I use that's like 2 years old. So I have a very good spread of random laptops to test on. I probably won't test on the one that's like 15 years old though, because I don't care. If you have a 15-year-old laptop, you're probably not going to be playing my games. Now, I will test on the 8-year-old one though. I think it should run on that one, maybe. I might have to like tweak the settings a bit, but for the most part it should be fine. I think, so the point where you start to get lag with this game is going to be the point where you're used to lagging on just about every single game you play. So, and at that point actually, if you've got a really bad laptop, the way the performance scales will make it so that this game will probably run better than what you're used to seeing. So the drop-off is a lot harsher with normal games where it's more graphics intensive. The CPU drop-off isn't as hard, so those people will already be used to everything lagging, and then my game will lag a lot less than what they're used to. So that's yeah. It's probably not going to be that much of an issue, but I'll test and see what happens. Yeah, I saw your message about alpha testing. As long as you're in the Discord server, I'll probably do an announcement of some kind when I start testing, like with people and have people try it out. But it is going to be closed, so you're going to have to be in the Discord and like be available when I need you. My laptop specs, it's like an AMD 5, well, was AMD Ryzen 5 something 45,000U, or is it 4500U? I don't remember. I don't know, I put it away. Hold on, I'll get it. It is technically a newer CPU. It's a lower quality one as well though. So it could be a mixture of factors here. Let's see. So it's AMD Ryzen 4500U. 8 gigs of RAM. And then it has the graphics from that same CPU, which it doesn't really use. Yeah. Also, I checked, and this laptop goes for more than I bought it for now. So triangle intersection, you can probably just look that up, because that's how I normally handle those things. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here, because I got done pretty much the remaining random things I needed to do for just getting this one map done. The next thing to do is going to be when I start actually adding content into the game. I'm going to first add the combat area, the very first one. Then after that, there's a white zone that connects that to another area, and that third area will be kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not going to have enemies in it. There's going to be a save area, but there's going to be some NPCs as well. So, which means I'm going to have to create the NPC system and the dialogue system at that point. So there's still more like mechanical work for me to do, but most of the remainder of the game is going to be content, and I'm grouping like bosses and like enemies in that category. But yeah, most of the mechanics are done. So mostly creating content. So I'm excited for that. Once I get past that first boss, like once I create the content for that first boss, I'm going to create a website for the game, which I'm excited about. And then I can start like I'll probably get like I'll probably have like some sort of option where people can put in their email to get notified when it comes out or something. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm gonna end the stream here. I'll probably stream next week. I don't know what the schedule is gonna look like. Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, and then I'll probably do another time that week as well. So yeah, bye.